Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about a tip that will save you countless amounts of hours, countless amounts of time editing in Premiere Pro. There's this new update in Premiere Pro. It's part of the beta plan, part of the beta Premiere Pro plan. So what you do, you got to make sure that you have it, okay? And you can go to the top, you can do text, and it'll dictate everything that you have. And all you have to do is click on like filter words, or you can say like ums, ands, buts, let's say blank spaces even, and it'll cut it all down and it'll make it into something tight and short, and it'll save you countless amounts of time because you won't have to go through and edit individually little, like this little bit out of your timeline, that little bit out of your timeline. Let's go find the word or and. Especially for me, I use the words a lot, so it'll really save your time. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to open up Premiere Pro. Okay, you're going to import your video, or if you already have your videos imported. All right, so once you have your video imported, what you're going to do, you're going to drag it onto your timeline. Just drag the straight video onto your timeline. You're going to hit text, transcribe. It's going to do its thing. It'll take a little bit. It also really depends on how fast or how slow your computer is. Currently, I'm using the MacBook M2 Air. It's taking a little bit. It's loading. It's about halfway done. Took the dogs for a walk while I was letting all of these videos import. Going to the Foo Fighters tonight. Pretty pumped about it. Almost done. All right, cool. So it's almost done. Okay, so what you can do, you can hit this little button right here, okay? You can go to pauses, all right? You hit delete all, okay? So what that does, let me show you. So I hit Control Z, delete, pauses. Whenever you hit delete, if you hit delete lift, it'll delete all of the pauses, delete all, but it'll leave all these blank spaces, okay? So what you wanna do, you wanna go to pauses, delete, extract, delete all, okay? And then boom, it cuts everything down, okay? So then you play it back and you listen to it, and whatever you need to be cut, you can just type in here the word or you can type in but, and it'll delete you can scroll through and you can see where you can delete it. Or you can just go through and you can just delete this just that one but. And you can go through and actually see everything that you're doing. So, that being said, it'll save you a bunch of time, and I'm gonna go through this and it'll be a little bit longer, but that'll be the end of it. And I hope you thought it was enjoyable, and here's the actual full-length story. So I'm gonna tell you a story about how I got our dog Frankie. Basically, what happened is he's coming to see me. This one right here. Come here. This one. This is Frankie. Okay. So that's the story of how we got Frankie. One day I was at work and we were doing a sinkhole in a neighborhood. So we pull up to this job and we get out, we get everything loaded, we're about to start working, and this little puppy runs out. This is probably 10 years ago, maybe, no, longer than that. Yeah, well, about 10 years, maybe a little bit longer, let's say 11. And he, had a collar on. He didn't look like he wasn't taken care of, but he didn't look taken care of. He just kind of just looked a little rough. So we're like, all right, I cut a water bottle in half. I gave him some water, and then, he just kind of hung around. And there was a hole in the fence that we were working at, so I was like, okay, well, maybe this is, their dog. So I went and knocked on the door. I was like, hey, is he your dog? And they're like, no, we've never seen him before. So I was like, oh, crap, all right. So he just jumps in the truck. He just jumps in the work truck. Straight up jumped in it. Was like, all right, well, I'm going for a ride. So I was like, okay. So, I took him to a vet clinic, and I felt what I thought would be a chip, but it was actually BBs, because he had been shot a few times. And so took him to a vet clinic. Vet clinic said, oh no chip, there's nothing there. So I was like, ah, crap. All right. So I took him to my buddy's house. Buddy, go inside. Hey, go inside. Go inside. Go inside. Just go inside. You're hot. Go inside. Go inside. Hey, go inside. Go. Cool off. So I took him to a buddy of mine, and I left him I was like, hey, dude, do you mind if I leave him here until I get off of work? I'll pick him up. Like, I just, I'm trying to find his house, but couldn't find anything. So he's like, yeah, sure. So leave work, go pick him up. Then I take him home. I'm like, all right, like, we got to make, or I didn't even take him home. I took him back to the neighborhood, drove around the neighborhood, looked and looked and looked, couldn't find anything. So I was like, okay, well, I guess you're going home with me. So I took him home, made a bunch of flyers, went back the next day, put a bunch of flyers up all over the neighborhood, and then never heard anything. Never heard anything, never heard anything, never heard anything. So tried to pawn him off on a friend of mine, actually a few friends, and they're like, how, sorry, we just don't want him. Like, they didn't want a dog or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I guess you're ours now. And then, he had to get a few little surgeries done. We had to get him neutered. Had to get he had a hernia and little stuff like that. And then after that, he just was ours. And he's been ours ever since, and I love him to death. He's my buddy. So that's the story of how we got Frankie. Okay, we got new merch, new shirts here, and logos on the back. We have hoodies, hats, golf polos, jackets, windbreakers, all kinds of stuff. I'll put a link in the description. If you watch this video, use code YouTube, and it'll be 15% off. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you thought it was helpful, hey, thank you for watching this video. If you thought it was helpful, if you learned anything, remember, hit the comment, or hit this, hey, thanks for watching this video, guys. Remember, if you like this video, if you thought it was helpful, sorry my dog is being a psychopath right now, but give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you thought it was good, just let me know. Alright, cool, thanks, always, I'll see you in the next video.